Hey guys, good morning. Let's talk about agents in Pega. So what exactly is an agent? Agent is a scheduled background job that executes some activity or that does some business transaction for us. Let's say, for example, every application will have a foreground jobs and background jobs, or some things that go in the foreground and some things that go in the background. So what kind of things you would like to do in the background? Let's say you're booking a ticket through IRCTC, okay, Indian Railways. So maybe you booked a ticket for December 1st, and unfortunately, it wasn't waiting list, okay. But you have a couple of months time, so where the waiting list one may get converted into a confirmed ticket. So now what IRCTC people application does is they'll have an agent, okay, a background job which runs daily at some particular time. It will check whether anybody can cancel the confirmed tickets. If somebody cancels the confirmed tickets, the people in the waiting list will be assigned, will be given the confirmed ticket. So there'll be an agent or a scheduled job that runs daily at a particular time and checks whether there are any cancellations done so that it can push this queue which is in the waiting list to the confirmed list. So these things you do it in agents. I mean, just an example. So few things you want to do in the backend. So for such things, we prefer agents. Let's take another example. Maybe like you are willing to make a kind of maybe a fund transfer. Okay, so maybe you made the fund transfer. Okay, and it's an NEFT transaction. So as you know, NEFT transactions does not I mean, like deposit the money to the other party immediately. So they take some time and then they deposit. So assume that there is a backend agent that is running in the backend. Okay, which considers all the deposits or the fund transfers which are done in the last 1 hour, and it will execute the transaction. So party A transferred money to party B. Okay. Similarly, 10,000 people transferred monies to another parties in last 1 hour. Now there's an agent, okay, which wakes up, deducts the amount from first party and transfer to the second party. Okay, so all these things they do it in the agents. So assume that if this is not an agent, you know that there will be a lot of load on the server. Why? Because you have to validate the other party credentials, other party bank details. Are you eligible? I mean, like, do you have the required amount of funds to make the fund transfer? So there may be multiple validations and this and that they do in the backend. So for which they don't want to put load on the server because n number of transactions will be happening in a minute. So they prefer to do it in agent so that they can reduce the burden on the server, because we maintain different server nodes for agents and different server nodes for users. Okay, so for multiple things, you know, where you don't want to do things in the foreground, you want to reduce the burden on the server, you go for agents. Another example, let's say for example, whenever user logs into my application, I would like to send a welcome mail to him, and assume that my app is a very popular app. Per minute I see 10,000 registrations. So if I keep on sending emails to the parties, my application will come down for sure. So what I'll do is, like, maybe every 2 hours I'll have an agent which wakes up, collects all these work objects or the registrations and send the emails to everyone, just a welcome email. So in multiple things you would like to go with agents. They're nothing but just scheduled background jobs. Okay. Now in Pega, we have a master agent which takes care of all the agents that we are going to create. So what does it do? Master agent is basically responsible for maintaining the queue items of each of these agents. So we have a queue in Pega where all the agent items are queued up. Now, whenever an agent time expires, it will wake up. Master agent will give the items to the child agent, like these are your queues. Sorry, these are the items. Now this agent is going to process them and get back to sleep again. Again, when the timer expands, it will wake up. It will see if it has any activities waiting in the queue. If no, it will again get back to sleep. Okay, so master agent is responsible for creating the agent schedule instance. So whenever you create an agent rule in Pega, master agent has to enable that on a particular on all the nodes of your server. So for enabling that, it creates this agent schedule instance. So agent schedule instance is a data instance where you can start and stop the agents. You can change the timer of the agents, like maybe initially it's like every 1 hour it is waking up. Now you want to reduce it to every 30 minutes. So you can make all these changes in the agent schedule instance. It's a instance, data instance created by master agent of Pega. Okay, now each of every agent rule in Pega. So per rule set, you can create only one agent. So if you have 5 rule sets in your application, you can create only 5 agents. But in each agent, you can write multiple activities. Okay, so one agent, you can just consider it as like a parent. Inside that, you can have multiple child agents, and each of the child agents do different things. They are independent of each other. Okay, so let's have a look at the agent rule and we'll talk about it. Today's class is just only on the theory part. Okay, so this is how an agent looks like, and this is my rule set. Okay, I can have n number of agents like this. Okay, and these are like completely independent. The sequence doesn't matter. Now, so this is my agent name. You can select the pattern. Periodic means you give the timer 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 hour, something like that. Recurring means every Monday, every Tuesday, like that. Startup means only when the server starts. So you shut down and start your server, only then this agent is going to run. Mode, I'll talk about it. Category, what is the purpose of this agent? Is it enabled or disabled? It means, is it running or did you stop it? And this is the activity which is going to run and do the business processing for us. The maximum number of records that you want to process at a time. See, if your application is too big, you get 10,000 items, 20,000 items queued up. Maybe you want to say, hey agent, when you woke up, just process only 500 and get back to sleep. So you can say 500 records max at a time. Auto queue management. What is auto queue management? I'll tell you when we talk about the modes of agents. Okay, so this is how an agent looks like. Now, let's talk about the modes of agents. So we have two types actually, standard and advanced. There's one more legacy. Legacy are the oldest ones which were used in Pega 5.x. You can ignore them. Standard agents and advanced agents. What are standard agents? And it's a most popular interview question. What is the difference between a standard agent and an advanced agent? Okay, or what is AQM? People keep asking you. They ask you the scenarios to explain when you go for this and when you go for that. Let's talk about them. Standard agents are the agents which do both business processing and transaction. I mean, like DB transactions also they take care. Okay, transaction processing you can say. So uh, what happens in standard agents means they take care of both your business logics, okay, which you write in your activity, and your DB transactions, mean DB commits, rollbacks, everything is taken care by the Pega in standard agents. So what is the advantage when you go with standard agents is locking, requeuing, all these things are taken care by the Pega. So locking, what do you mean by locking here? Let's say for example, this agent is trying to process a work object. At the same time, the same work object is opened by a user in his portal. Now, how can agent process it? It can't acquire the lock, right? So this will be handled by Pega. So what Pega does is it will requeue the item. So next time, maybe when the agent turn comes, it will try to process this work object. Again, it has a lock, no problem, requeue it. So that continues and continues until the work object is processed. In even all DB commits, rollbacks, and all these things are handled by the Pega when you go with standard agents. And in case of standard agents, we use AQM. This is auto queue management. Okay, so this is nothing but a queue, a default queue where all the items are queued up. So whenever a standard agent wakes up, it will pick the feed from the queue. This AQM will give the feed for it. So this in the queue, the feed items will be there. It will pick up the items, process them, and get back to sleep. Okay, but sometimes what happens, you want to have a better control over the DB transactions. You don't want Pega to take care of when to commit, when to roll back, and all those things. Maybe you will have some requirements. You want to control them. So in such cases, what we do is we go for advanced agents. So in advanced agents, you take care of your DB transactions. Okay, and we don't use AQMs. You can if you want, and I mean like we don't go with the Pega's default queue. Okay, we create a RDB table. It's your choice. You can also go with the queue, but in normally we don't go with the queue. We create a RDB table. We put the requests in it. So whenever the agent wakes up, it will browse this RDB table, take the data whatever it want. It will process the cases and it will go back to sleep. So it continuously queries from the RDB table and it doesn't pick from the queue. So here what we do is we take care of this DB transactions, especially when advanced agents are preferred is when you have calls to stored procs, when you have RDB queries and all these things, we prefer to go with advanced agents than with standard agents, because standard agent does this auto commits and auto DB things it will handle. But when we make RDB transactions, you want to control them and you want to take care of few things. Okay, so that is the reason whenever we have this RDB stuff, usually we prefer to go with advanced agents than with standard agents. Okay, and in advanced agent, we don't go with the Pega's queue. We create our own RDB tables, our own custom queues. We query from them and we process them. And even though when you go with advanced agents, you see this option auto queue management frequently asked in interviews. So what is auto queue management? Whenever you enable this auto queue management in advanced agents, even advanced agents requeuing and locking mechanism will be handled by Pega. If you disable this, you have to take care of both these things. Okay, so that is the advantage and it is preferred to enable it. Okay, now just a second. Okay, now go to your notes tab. You will find the instance created by the master agent. I'm not showing it, but you can just open it in your system. You will find the instance created by the master agent. Okay, if you open that instance, you will find options to enable, disable, and change the timer of your agent. So what is the major advantage of this agent schedule instance is? Let me open it, then we'll talk about it. Okay. Huh. The advantage of agent schedule instance is, let's say for example, your agent is enabled on 5 nodes, okay, but you are facing some issue on a particular node, agent is not working fine, and this agent runs for every 2 hours. You can't wait for 2 hours to debug this agent, right? So I want to make the agent run for every 30 seconds. Now, but that should happen only on this particular node because I'm debugging on this node and not on the other nodes. So if you want to change the timer on a specific node, that is the reason we have this agent schedule instances, because for each and every node, your master agent will create one schedule instance. So I'll open a particular schedule instance of the particular node, change the timer, and I can test it. Okay, so that is the use of agent schedule engine. You can stop and start and make changes to your agent things in the agent schedule instance. And what if this enable this agent means for the n number of agent instances inside this, you want to enable or disable, you can control here. But this like this enable and disable takes more precedence over this. Okay, similarly interval, see if you already specified some interval here, then this would work. If you did not specify interval in any of the agents, then this will work. It's just a global setting, I mean like agent wide settings for all the multiple agents inside this. Okay, then in the security tab, you can specify the access group. There's another interview question again. Is this why do we need to specify the access group? See, agent is a backend job. Okay, so that will also have a requester session. So whenever there's a requester session, you need to provide the access. What level of access or like which rules which application this agent can access. So for which we need access group. Okay, and now here comes an interview question. Is access group required for both standard and advanced agents? No, access group is only used by advanced agents. Okay, whereas standard agents take the access group of the requester who has queued the item into its queue. So if I created a work object and my work object got queued into the queue, so it will take my access group. Then you queued the item, then it will take your access group. So that's what it's like. It takes the operator's access group while processing the data. But whereas advanced agent, they take this access group. Okay. Okay, so this is just a theory about agents. We'll work on the hands-on part tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much, guys.